Hi everyone. I wanted to make an update video because I haven't in forever. It has been since August of 2017, which is way too long, but things have just been so crazy in my life that it just hasn't found myself a chance to be able to do so. So I wanted to go ahead and do that today. I apologize for any noise that you may hear. I am now in my new homemade basement office, and my children are very loud, and the stairs creak quite a bit, even if they're on the stairs on the third floor. But so anyway, I apologize for any excess noise. So I wanted to go ahead and update you on my progress. Anybody that has been watching my video or that has watched my video, you can probably see I have indeed lost more weight. Again, for those who are seeing this for the first time, in January 2017, I had the duodenal switch surgery done. My start weight was 327. And then I went into surgery at 325. So I lost 2 pounds because the first day you're supposed to fast. So that was my effort at that time. Anywho, so to update my progress, I am now 144. So 5'3", 144 on the BMI calculator. I'm still considered overweight, believe it or not, but I feel good about where I am now. That gives me a total weight loss of 183 pounds in basically a year and a half, well, 2 years, because right now, today is December 30th of 2018, so January 9th, 2019, which is only less than 2 weeks away, will be 2 years since I've had the surgery. So in 2 years, I've lost 183. However, I've been fluctuating between 145 and 155-ish, I guess you could say, for the better part of the last 6 months. So I'd say that that weight pretty much I lost in a year and a half. Yeah, I mean, a lot has really happened. I have 4 little girls, as I mentioned in the last video, 3 of which are by my ex-husband. We've been divorced since 2005. And then the man that I'm with now, we have a 9-year-old, soon to be 10-year-old together. So I guess I wanted to really do this video to explain, I guess, a lot of things that have happened to me through this journey. You know, it's been great in the sense of losing weight and finding different things that I've been able to do. Positives, I can take my children to any amusement park and I can go on rides with them. I can outmaneuver them in some ways, physically, on things. 3 of my older 3 daughters are teenagers. I don't think they ever really believed that mom would ever be thin. You know, I think that even when I said I was going to have the surgery, they were like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, and they were happy for me. But I really don't ever think they thought it would ever happen. Especially now that, like, I'm in a smaller size than my 15-year-old. And she cannot stand it. I'm not even allowed to mention it. You know, so, but that's okay. But yeah, like, I can take them anywhere. I've gone zip lining. I never thought I would zip line, but I can, like, fit in the straps. You know, roller coasters. I loved roller coasters. I can fit in them. I can shop in normal clothes. I got to wear a dress this Christmas. You know, just those little things that most people take for granted every day. I'm able to wear short hair. You know, in my last video, I was still in a pulled up ponytail, which was my, like, go-to hairstyle forever. I'm able to pull off short hair. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that are different. So health stats too. I mean, my blood pressure is on point, my sugar is on point. My vitamin levels are all on point. I follow a very basic regimen as far as my vitamins are concerned. I have to take a Meprazole daily, and anybody that's had the duodenal switch or going to that, just so you know, that's part of an everyday, not for everybody, but at least for me, I have to be on a Meprazole probably the rest of my life. A Meprazole is Prilosec for heartburn. There's something like with the stomach acid pump that I have to, ever since the surgery, if I don't take my omeprazole by 10 a.m. because I'm a big coffee drinker, I feel it, and I know I missed it. But I do. I just take a normal regimen. I'm a very big promoter of bariatric, berry-wise oatmeal, if I haven't said it in the last video. There's peaches and cream, there's apples and cinnamon, there's all kinds of stuff. And they have 15 grams of protein per serving. There's also hemp seeds. So like a lot of what I eat in the morning will be the oatmeal with hemp seeds. And then once I have that, I take Bariatric Advantage, ADEK, formulated vitamins, which are specific, especially for people with the duodenal switch. I take that. I take calcium chews. I take B1. I take zinc. That's more of a preference. That's not really, I don't even need to take iron. My iron levels are maintaining themselves. And I really just try to eat a good diet. I eat mainly poultry, vegetables, twice a week, red meat. I also do splurge. At times I'll just eat what I want to eat. I just have to eat it at a very minimal amount. I can say I am now officially 2 years in, and my stomach is still, I can't eat a lot. I still cannot eat a lot. And even if I have a week where, let's say, I'm eating a whole bunch of crap, and there are those weeks, because I am also a food addict. You don't just get to 320 pounds, 330 almost actually, by just eating. I'm a food addict. And, so I will have my weeks where I want to binge and I really physically can't. But regardless, I'm just, and I've said this before, I'm just in the bathroom more, but I don't gain weight. Granted, I'm not giving a license to eat shit. But just saying, if you do have a week and you do have a day, it's not a huge deal, really. So some things I've been struggling with, which is a lot of the reason why I haven't made a video in a long time, is because I've been struggling with a lot of things. My last video, one comment I had made was that, the doctor does surgery on your stomach, but doesn't do surgery on your brain. My brain is still 327 pounds and weighs. And like I said, a food addict. I'm also an alcoholic. I feel free to admit that. It's the truth. I am. I've been an alcoholic since I was 20 years old. I'm turning 40 this year, so 20 years. I've really, really been struggling with that. I think more so than anything these last 2 years. And that's mainly because eating was one of my major go-tos for stress. Now that I really can't binge eat because of having the surgery, I kind of doubled the drinking. I do want to mention this because I know that this is a big question to people. About drinking and after this type of surgery, and so I'm going to tell you some things that have happened to me physically due to it. I have burned my esophagus. I have GERD now, which is another reason that I have to take the omeprazole. I didn't have to take it before the surgery, but I do have to take it now. And the doctor said part of that is because of damage that I have done from drinking. Only exasperated, if you will. I was always a drinker, but when I couldn't compensate with food as well, for my stress and anxiety, I have crazy anxiety issues that I'm working on. I ate and I drank. 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 Um, and then once I really couldn't eat much, it was like I drank, I drank, I drank, I drank. Well, that led to a lot of issues. I ended up February of 2018, so about a year after the surgery, I ended up having to go to a rehab. First time I ever had to go to a rehab. I stayed for 30 days, and I stayed sober 40 days. That's 30 in the rehab, 10 outside. Not long. So I've been struggling with that ever since. One of the main things that have happened was that was February of 2018, and then April of 2018, just this past year, I actually put myself into a mental institution. I mean, really, is what it was, because my mind it was going crazy, just totally going nuts. I didn't know what was wrong, and so I decided to put myself on a 72-hour thing, just and this is why, I'm sorry, because my insurance, by trying to go through the insurance and this and that and a place, couldn't get me into to see a psychiatrist for like 90 days. It was ridiculous. So the person on the phone told me that basically my best chance would be to just go to the emergency room and just say what was happening and blah blah blah. And so yeah, and it worked. I got to see a psychiatrist right away. So I did, and I was also going through alcohol withdrawal at the time. I suffered, not currently, but I suffered from severe alcohol withdrawal at this point in time in my life. And so while I was there about 24 hours, I kind of strategically planned it. I had sent my older 3 girls to go and stay with their father that weekend. And my oldest was home with her father, who I'm with. And I would be back by the time the oldest girls got home. So I went, and then that Saturday morning, this is a Thursday night that I went in, that Saturday morning, I got brought into a room and was told that my ex-husband was killed in an ATV accident right in front of my children. They were having a birthday party, and he was riding his ATV and lost control and got thrown into the road, and when he did, at the same time a truck was coming by and ran right over his head. So I had to leave that center early for obvious reasons. So that has been a real wake-up call for me, because they had lost their stepmother a year before, which she was my age, and my absolute rock. She, a lot of people will say that they don't have a great relationship with the wife of their ex, and I didn't at first. It wasn't that great at first, but we grew. I just grew to love her so much. Sometimes it's easy to let go the BS when you know that someone else, truly and unconditionally loves your children. And so I was able to put anything else aside, because I knew we both had the common goal, if you will. And once I was able to do that, we were more than best friends. I mean, she was my co-parent, and I was on the road working all the time, and at this point in my life, and she just, I couldn't have done everything I did if it wasn't for her. And then she got diagnosed with cancer, and even her first few years with cancer, she would still help me so much, and eventually she couldn't, and then she passed. That was March of 2017. So she passed March of 2017, and then my ex-husband passed April of 2018, so basically a year apart. My children lost half their life. There was me and Bob, and then there was their dad and their stepmom. And, they were the stable ones. I mean, I'll admit it. They were the stable ones. You know, mom can be, mom was a drinker. Mom could be erratic. Sometimes they didn't know, you know. Um, I was always a mom. That was never the issue. But, you know, I drank and whatnot. And they looked at them. They didn't drink and, you know, this and that. So they looked at them like the stable, the safety net. And they were my safety net, honestly. You know, when things were going down or, you know, I had to do this or I had to do that, they took the kids. When I was like working, sometimes assignments I had to work at certain places for sometimes weeks at a time, and they would help pick up the slack. So, you know, now they're gone. And now it's just me. So it's been a big reality check for me. I spent some time recently at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, in their drug and alcohol, or their alcohol program. It's not a drug program; it's an alcohol program. And it's an ironic thing. What they do is they take people, and I kind of just stumbled upon this. It's a research hospital. It's a research facility. The National Institute of Health is a research facility. And I kind of stumbled upon this as I was trying to seek help. And the National Institute of Health took me in there for a 30-day program and did a complete physical workup. I can't say enough how NIH saved my life. They found that I do have scarring on my liver. They also found that that scarring on my liver was old, and that the surgery, the duodenal switch, has protected my liver, as odd as that is. But I want to get too much into that. Just that, you know, but I'm okay now. With that, I mean, every day is a process, but I don't want to keep going into that. While I was there, I was also diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, which made a lot of things that have happened in the past make a lot of sense. Erratic things that I've done do. My weight loss has been a huge trigger of my bipolar disorder, which I didn't really realize as much because okay, let me try to make sense of this. Part of my bipolar 1 disorder is erratic spending and erratic behaviors. Part of my erratic behavior is drinking at times, but also, like I said, spending money. Ever since I've lost weight, you know, you gain a new confidence. You want all these new clothes. You want all these brand names. You want all of this because you couldn't have it before. And even if you wanted it, why bother? You can't fit in it. You know, I can walk into Guess now at the outlet stores, and I can buy Guess clothes in a medium. Like, and I'm not saying that like in a bragging sense. I'm saying that as I can't effing believe it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even fit in a medium when I was like in high school. It's really, really crazy how my body has changed over the years with age for the good. So yeah, so like I said, I've been dealing with a lot. But my body has really adjusted to the surgery, as you will find if you are having it, planning on it. I can tell you, I am just about 2 years in, and I unequivocally, hands down, would do it all over again. My only regret of this surgery is that I didn't do it sooner, because I lost a lot of years. But that's okay, because I still have a lot of years ahead of me, and I have a lot of great years ahead of me because I had the surgery. So yeah, I mean, things have been tough. I've been out of work basically a year, kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, due to, between my mental illness that I've been dealing with, the death of my ex-husband, just a lot. You know, I tried contacting, well, I did contact, I should say, the Dr. Phil show. And they actually, I contacted them, right when my ex-husband passed, and not that I was asking help for myself. I was begging him to help my children because I didn't know how to help them. They need trauma therapy. They aren't just teenage girls who lost their hero in their lives. They actually had to see it happen. So I contacted Dr. Phil Show. While I was in the hospital, they contacted me wanting to do a show that week. And obviously I couldn't go. I chose to finish out my program rather than go on the show. At that point in time, finishing my program was of more importance to me. She told me to give them a call when I got out, and I did, and I never heard back. So if anyone's out there that can contact me with Dr. Phil, that would be great. Or anyone. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared for my children. I'm scared of what's going to happen. I'm scared that I'm on my own. But I just take everything one day at a time with all aspects of my life. But again, I'm not trying to do this pity party. I know you're watching the video about the surgery, but so again, just bare bones. Here I am, duodenal switch, 183 pounds gone, basically in a year and a half. Does the surgery work? Yeah, absolutely. And am I okay? Like I said, my vitamin levels are good. You hear a lot of horror stories, and as long as you're taking care of yourself, you're going to be okay. You really, really are. The main thing I can't express enough is self-care. I'm, when it comes to the weight loss, I'm happy. Do I have excess skin? Absolutely. You can even see, I have a sweater on, which still looks nice, but, I have, there's room here. There's skin, but could it be worse? Yes. Is having loose skin, at the expense of carrying all that weight around? Yeah, absolutely. And, one day maybe I'll be able to have it removed, and if not, so what? It is what it is. So, again, I apologize for not making this video sooner. I hope you've all found this update helpful. The main thing is it's refinding out who you are. Especially myself. If I'm not heavy and a drunk, who am I? And that's been something I've been struggling to find out. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and I'm going to be okay. But I will continue to update. Again, I apologize that I haven't. It's just I've been dealing with so much. But, I am going to put out a plea out there. I need help. My children need help. We're struggling. But if anybody knows anything, or anyone, or any way, I appreciate any sort of feedback that I could get, or resource. I'm open. My girls are, there's, trying to explain to my girls about God and this and that, and that things happen for a reason that we don't understand. It's like, how do you justify that? But yeah. Okay. So, thank you for listening, anyone that has, and again, if anyone that has anything for me that possibly, or any questions, if anybody has any questions about anything that I'm going through personally, even if it's not the duodenal switch, if it has anything to do with bipolar 1, I'm certainly no expert on it, except that I can relate. Please just message me on the bottom, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. All right. Thank you.